I feel like I've got Caitlin in like a much better position tonight.
Right, let's start this then.
I have free arms.
Yes,
Yay!
you have three arms or free arms?
Free, free,
Free, like free guy.
like freedom.
Oh my god, the Scottish is coming out in him. No, we don't take the mic. We don't take the mic. Anyway, this is episode 6. Yep,
Yep, it is. It is. It's episode 6. Yep.
episode 6. Um,
Welcome everybody. Hi.
a couple of things I want to chat to you about. Um, I think we should just jump straight into a game we've been playing very recently, i.e., about 24 hours ago.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
So obviously we're recording on Wednesday, the 4th of August. Yesterday night we sat and played the Ascent.
We did. We did.
Uh, bas- Basically, Mike, for those who haven't played it, you explain what the game is about, or your basically your thoughts and your views on the game.
Um, it's very. It reminds me a lot of Diablo style dungeon crawler yes esque, but it's futuristic, it's cyberpunk kind of genre. Um, eh, it's good. The graphics and stuff are good in it. The gameplay's good so far that I've like kind of played with. It's completely co-op, which is great. Including something that I didn't know until we started playing it is you can play it couch co-op.
Yes, I seen that. Well, I see because I was hosting, so I seen it.
Yeah,
I
so
had
you
an
can couch
option to
co-op,
do that. Obviously, you wouldn't have
which
seen
I
that at the time.
no, but I saw it anyway. So I think that's really cool. Um, yeah, I mean, it's new out. It came out on Game Pass. So a lot of people are going to get the chance to play it, including the PC version of the Game Pass as well. Um, I believe you can actually stream it directly from cloud as well, which is cool.
Yeah, yes, I
Uh,
think so. Yeah,
yeah, so you don't even need to install it; you can just turn it on. Um,
that sounded a very
yeah,
seductive there.
it did, it did, it did. You could twist that. I bet you that'll become a meme one day when I'm older.
I'm gonna put a recording of that later on. I'm gonna put it out there.
It could be the title.
It can be people's text tones or something like that.
It could be the title.
Uh,
Um, yeah, but so it's a twin stick shooter, really, uh, slash RPG version. So the camera view is very Diablo style, although they do some funky stuff with it about changing kind of your angle of view. But ultimately, twin stick shooter, fully customizable characters. Although I would say the character customization choices were somewhat to be desired.
very very lacking.
Uh, yeah, and really only to the point to know that you were not me. Like we looked a little bit different, but they might as well. In all honesty, and this is my genuine opinion, you're not close enough to the character to ever care,
Yeah.
right? Apart from when you're in the menu and you're like customizing, right? They would have been better off just putting skins on things, so it's like a full suit or whatever if they were going to do it.
Yeah.
Um, your gear customizes your character enough anyway.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I almost think they shouldn't have bothered.
But I mean, even size, like you could have, if they'd give you the option to be like some
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
massive,
Yeah, or like even like
massive
a tiny
gorgeous,
dude.
you know.
Yeah, it'd have been funny. It'd have been
Yeah.
really funny having like the different variants, but no, none of that. So it's very simple. It's like a couple of hair choices, a couple of facial like tattoos and stuff like this. A couple of whether you're male or female. That pretty much it. Whether you're wearing certain types of t-shirts and stuff.
Hmm.
Um, but ultimately, 90% of it gets covered up with all your gear that you put on anyway. So
Yeah.
ultimately pointless, but never mind. Um, very pleasant though, very pleasant to look at.
Yeah.
That was quite good. Um, the I think the controller layout could be on, especially on Xbox. We were playing on Xbox. I think the controller layout wasn't the most intuitive way of doing it. Um, I don't mind how they do it. I think I think some of these people they're creating a game and they find that for many reasons later on maybe it's the best layout to do.
Yeah.
However, they didn't even give you an option to change it.
There possibly wasn't even there's a control in the game, wasn't it, where you could pitch your shots, so you could pitch them up, or you could have it vertical,
Yeah,
and
it was like
that
head shot, low shot, or
yeah,
whatever.
it should have been like Diablo-esque, where it was literally if you point in that direction, obviously you're going to be shooting at that guy coming down the stairs. Not you're not going to be shooting at the stairs.
Yeah, I think they tried to be clever because when you first start the game, the creatures we were trying to fight, they were small, so you had to basically shoot, which would have been against your hip, so you're not looking down the scope, even though you're not really looking down the scope from the camera angle.
Hmm.
And if you're not doing that, you're not hitting them. So I thought the game was actually had a problem, stupid me, where I couldn't shoot them until I realized that's what I was doing. Um, maybe further on in the game we'll find why that mechanic's there and why it's a good mechanic, but ultimately I don't feel like it is, and I think it's took up a trigger slot that could have been utilized way better
Yeah,
than other stuff because they have clearly pushed there is moves and abilities that you have to cast from your sticks by pressing them,
yeah.
and
That was my only issue with the actual controls for me was only it was the grenade.
yeah,
So when you push that left, if you push that left stick in at the same time as you're trying to move, so if you wanted to kind of strafe backwards as you threw a grenade forwards because you had enemies coming towards you, because you're putting pressure down on the stick, it was hard to
yeah,
you either slip off or you go off slightly or
yeah.
that
Plus, I was always trying to run. In a lot of games, you click the stick in to run.
yeah.
So I was just naturally clicking the stick in, and then in the
There,
end,
there was no run button, which I
no,
think
there wasn't any
you
run
did
button.
need one because you were. I think we found ourselves just rolling around everywhere. Not that that made us any quicker. I realised when I was running alongside you rolling.
No, I mean the roll was just funny because it makes you look like a frog.
Yeah,
But, that was good. Um, no, I'm not. I don't feel like we played it long enough to like massively call whether it's a good game or not. I think it's got a lot of potential. I think the stuff we could see in it was a lot more than I expected already.
hmm,
It's not your standard first, twin stick shooters. It's probably got a lot in it. You could upgrade weapons, upgrade gear. You could up buy new things, but you could also upgrade them. You had um, attribute points for yourself, although that was very simplistic. It was just they called them skills, but they weren't. It was just like an increase to your health or an increase to your aim or whatever.
yeah.
And then you had like augments, so they were like abilities
They
that
were
you could
more.
like cast.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they were more like abilities. I think they missed the attribute point term. They're called skills attributes. Would have been a bit better.
yeah.
And they, yeah, I wouldn't think that if I had 10 more health than you, Craig, I would class it as a skill.
No.
So yeah, never mind.
Mm.
Uh,
I will say that I think my only gripe with it was once you get further into it, we were in that city,
yeah,
and as soon as we got into there, it was very for me very busy, very hectic, and I think that with that joint with the map, I don't know how you found the map, but I could not when I brought that map up understand because you can't understand the different levels and it's just got grey. But you don't know what you can walk on and what you can't on
no,
the
I
map.
know. I
And
don't really understand why the map was too like isometric view as well. They could
yeah,
have just done a
what
2D
it
map.
needs is very basic. If you go back to like your Diablo where you can bring the map up over, as an overlay, and it's just literally it's very square mazy, that so you can see it as you're still moving to stop you from coming out of the game because especially when you're playing co-op online, if I go into the map, which the menus they weren't slow, but they weren't fast. So if
Yeah, yeah.
you're going into the map, then all of a sudden you take a few steps forward because it's an online game and it doesn't pause it. All of a sudden, enemies are
Yeah.
swarming and coming out everywhere, so you can't see that.
I've always found that kind of funny with those sort of games. That why is any of the menu system hit like why does it take the game away?
Yeah, just put it down the side.
Yeah, put it like have a pop-out window that pops out and takes part of your game away, but not all of it.
Hmm.
So you still have part of your game on there. I know there's a lot of information, and I know they're trying to fit all that in, and I kind of get it. But
Yeah,
I found that, luckily enough, I had like my earphones on, and the sound was pretty loud, that I could hear my guy getting attacked because you'd moved on and spawned a couple of enemies, and they just so happened to come after me.
yeah, but I
I was
didn't know
like,
you were in the menu either. Otherwise, I would have
yeah,
stopped.
because it doesn't tell anyone that you're doing that.
Hmm.
Um, So there's definitely some tweaks there. The problem is some of those tweaks we're talking about, they're not going to go away. They're just
No,
part of the game.
and like I say, with when I said it was overcrowded and very hectic in the city, I was struggling to find my way around it. But even with that, I wouldn't come away with it and say that it was a crap game or anything by any means. I would say it's a
No,
very solid, you know.
I, I I wish some games would take a bit more time telling you how to do certain things. There's no, there wasn't really, there was like a tutorial kind of level to start off with,
Yeah,
as
I,
in
I
you got
think there was,
pointed, and every time,
I
but
think there
every
was
time you
points.
interacted with something, you got a tooltip, right?
Yeah, but I think there was points where there was little tooltips and stuff appearing on my screen that maybe you didn't get.
Yeah,
Because
it was only when you clicked
I
them.
felt like I was getting it and you were still running around, and I was like, well, are you not reading this? So I
No,
was
no,
getting stuff, but then even then it was I'd rather be shown what to do
that's what I mean. That's what I
rather
mean.
than
Like, if
loads and
if
loads of text.
if if you click on something because you're exploring and you click on it and it pops up this tooltip, right? And you start reading it, it's like, oh, this is for whatever, right?
Hmm.
The context of what when you use this is completely thrown out of proportion. You don't know when that's relevant now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and pretty much those tooltips where you read them, you hold B, they disappear, and then the next time you go there, it doesn't appear anymore, right? If they'd have done the first level like kind of like they did, but it was very specific where you moved to. Like it was more, the arrow, the red arrow pointed in the
Oh
directions.
yeah, and don't get
But
me
it,
started with that mini map.
but yeah, let me know. If the red arrow, because you could press down or up or whatever it was, up, the red arrow would appear. Sorry,
Yeah,
this is the baba and the the camera shot there. Um, if you could move that a little bit.
that's fine. Spin back when you spin back round now, you'll be fine there. There you go.
Yeah, if you could, if when you press that, it just only on the first level. I don't mean like on the whole thing.
Yeah.
And possibly when you got to the main city, if it had pointed you to absolutely every step that you had to do, and you got a tooltip every time because it was the next relevant step,
Hmm.
then when you got to when you got to the city, there was a lot of icons appeared out of nowhere with no real explanation for what any of them are until you go and explore them. And I get that's part of an RPG, and that's okay, but as you found out, we had a bit of a cutscene telling us to not really move on to the next level until we got some upgrades and bought a different weapon or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Now, as you found out, I upgraded and you didn't.
Yeah. So what
And when we went to the
what
next
Mike did is Mike did the mission, which was classified as a side mission,
as a
which I had
side mission, yeah.
I had selected, which obviously it guided me to the different areas. But
Yeah.
the problem being is, I think what you're going to say now is when you did that, and I was off doing something, I was collecting all the other side missions, wasn't I? But when you
Yeah.
finished it, I went to activate it again, so I could then be guided to where I needed to go. It was classed as done because you'd done it, and then I had no idea where I was going or what I was
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah. So I'd completed it, therefore you'd completed it
Yeah,
because it's a side mission. But actually, it shouldn't have been a side mission. It was actually like a task to learn, really. Um,
which that follows on to something else I wanted to make a point of, and I feel like I'm bashing the game, but here, but the other issue I had with it is you could definitely become a passenger of it, meaning that if you went off and did something, I'd feel like I'd missed out, and vice versa. So you could become a passenger of the game, and unless you're side by side and doing the thing at the same time,
Yeah,
You
you'd be dragged through. Yeah.
yeah, you could do nothing.
Yeah, someone could click like someone could start a mission, run off, press all the buttons while you're buying a weapon,
Yeah, and before you
and
know
you,
it, it comes up mission
and
finished.
mission finished, or you've missed like vital cutscenes of part of the story and stuff like that. It doesn't really, I didn't see many times where it forced me to wait for you,
No,
like in
no.
other games where it's like, oh, you have to wait for the next person. It would come up and ask you, it'd be teleported or whatever. No, didn't see any of that sort of mechanic, which is a bit of a shame.
Hmm.
But also like you, the mission there to go upgrade your like armor and upgrade your weapon, right? As a side mission
Yeah,
is like a forcible thing they're doing. They're telling you to go do that and upgrade. And they even made a comment that you need to upgrade before you move on to the next level. Whereas I went and did it, but you didn't. And then we moved on to the next area. And actually, okay, I had a slightly better weapon, but it wasn't particularly loads better to what you already had anyway. And funnily
yeah.
enough, the first dude I killed had the same gun that I just paid 15,000 credits for, um, literally 2 seconds ago because the
I,
game told me I had to.
I was about to move on to that just before we obviously give our verdict
Nuts.
on the game because I wanted to just kind of mention that Mike had wasted all his money on a weapon that I
On a on a
decided
on a
I
web
decided
on a weapon
against.
then that Craig then picked up, which he
Yep.
could have given me, but never mind. Um, uh, yeah, we're picking on.
Yeah, let's.
I feel like we're picking on small mechanics,
We're
small
not we're
issues,
not bashing
small
it.
problems.
What we're doing is we're saying that there's a really good game there that could have been that slight bit better had it have just focused on a couple of these little minor issues.
Yeah, I have a feeling that the content that's probably in it after fighting like, okay, the first boss was quite easy, but after fighting bosses in it and kind of seeing what some of the levels and stuff were like,
Hmm.
I think there's probably enough of a gameplay content that it'll hide some of the slightly unpolished mechanics. And do you know what I'll put it down to? I bet you it wasn't game tested by like
Right.
a mass amount of people.
It'll be.
Now, that's actually going to put me onto a little bit of an extra point.
It's all about money.
Um, well, so we've talked about Game Pass a lot,
Yeah.
and we've talked about it's good. We get a lot of games on there now and all that kind of good stuff, right? But we used to do we'd still do it a little bit, but we used to do some games testing and get paid for it and stuff,
Yeah.
which is good. And but I see a lot less of it now, of it coming up of being an option. And it got me to thinking that if I was a games developer and I could release a game on Xbox as a Game Pass title and Xbox are happy to pay for it,
Hmm.
why would I bother
Yeah.
paying people to game test it? Why wouldn't I just launch it day one, see what everyone thinks of it, and then fix the problems after? No one's gonna. People are okay. People are gonna complain about it, but people aren't gonna complain as much because we didn't. They don't have to give them the money back.
Yeah. It again. It's to say it's money. All comes
I,
down to money.
yeah, I know. I know it does. I wish people were like some of these places would be a bit more honest about it all, but I did that got me a little bit worried about it because the reason why is because we played that game for a very short amount of time. We're average gamers when it comes to a lot of things, yet we picked up on lots of points that we would have normally put in a report to a
Yeah.
games developer to say, nah, you could do this better, you could do this bit better, this wasn't quite right, this wasn't quite right. And funnily enough, we actually stopped playing it because it broke.
Aye. Well, obviously, I'm just going to move on a little bit now anyway because obviously
Yeah,
I
but
think
play it, but play
yeah,
it. But play it. It was a good game. I do like it. I do want to play it again,
yeah.
and we'll probably play it a lot with Greg. So please,
Oh yeah.
please do play it.
But basically that segues me on to when you're talking about testing and beta testing. So I had to go on Halo Infinite,
Yay!
and I've
Cool.
been I've been testing that. I only managed to get it for a couple of days. Test it for a couple of days.
Covered by an NDA, no?
No,
No,
nope.
just standard closed. So how did? Well, actually, can I before you move on to it,
Yeah,
right? So you're a beta tester of that. I
yeah,
wasn't. right?
Yeah.
But will you let people know how you became a beta tester of that? Because I don't think people know the ins and outs of the Xbox process that lets you get that choice or lets you get that option.
So it's part of the insider Xbox. So if you part of the inside one of the insider rings in the Xbox, which you
Hmm.
can download the app and apply to straight from the Microsoft Store on your console.
Hmm.
Once you're accepted in a ring, depending on what you want, obviously it'll give you different options. Obviously, the higher the ring, basically the more chance there could be more problems. So I tend to stay a bit further down where I know there's going to be no issues with my console.
Okay.
Once you're in there, basically you'll get asked to test apps and games and a few other little bits, and one of them just so happened to be Halo Infinite. But also, I'm part of, see if I can remember what it's called, the flight team, which is through like 343 Studios, like Bungie, that type. It was all that kind of all that same thing in there. So because I'm part of
Yeah,
this,
the waypath thing.
yeah, because I'm part of this flight team, it's kind of
Yeah.
I get like the app, so I get the app to test for them, and I get obviously
Yeah.
one of the emails I got was for the game,
Yeah.
which then you can go on your Insider Xbox app, and then you'll see in there you've got games to download that you can test.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into it. Um, can't really say too much about the game,
Okay.
other than the fact that it was good. It was back to its old roots of your Halo 3 era.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Not I didn't feel like you had none of these stupid holographic,
No power ups.
moves and yeah. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I don't know whether they're going to be in there or they are in there somewhere, but I didn't get that feeling of any of
Okay.
that.
Hmm.
I had to go in two things. I had to go on the firing range, so tried out all the different weapons against these targets that move around the map. So you can, I think there's three levels. So you get ones where for each weapon. So you get ones where the
Hmm.
targets are just still and they just pop up. So you can
Okay.
practice like range if you move backwards or forwards, or you can like the pull on the gun. Um,
A recoil. Yeah.
yeah. Or then from there you then get I think I can't remember what it was it moving targets? Might have been moving targets. And anyway, there's just different levels, different weapons. So I tried that out. That was pretty cool. Although there wasn't a battle rifle on there, which I was a bit gutted about because that was one thing I was looking forward to trying out. Then I went on to I forget the name of it now, but it was a 4v4, but it was play basically four players versus four bots.
Okay.
And what they did was each day they were changing mechanics of the bots to test it out. So like the difficulty of them, the way they moved and stuff like that. So because I know I went on one day and as soon as one bot seen one of us,
Hmm.
it was like, right, I see him, I'm going for him, and that bot, they were quite good because they worked as a team. They kind of followed each other.
Hmm.
But what happened at one point? There was like a bunch of four of them all together. Seeing one guy run after him, I ran around the back and started shooting them. That guy didn't even. I don't even know. Think he knew they were even there. But
Okay.
because the bot had already kind of gone right, I'm going for him. It ignored
Locked
the
on.
fact that I was shooting them in the back.
Yeah, it should
Um,
be. It should be threat based. Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that one day, but then the following day it kind of felt like that changed. So I don't know whether that was difficulty. Maybe that was on easy. I don't know. It didn't really tell you. Or
Okay.
maybe they'd actually changed through because you gave feedback as well. And maybe they
Okay.
changed it based on feedback from players. So I don't quite know. But
Cool.
I don't. Did you watch the video I sent you today?
No.
No. So there's every now and then there's weapon drops that or weapon caches or something that appear. So rather than kind of right, there's a gun. I don't know if you ever remember. So there's like say there's guns like dotted in different areas, and everyone kind of used to go right. I'm going for the rocket launcher. Or I'm going for the sniper. This time
Okay.
there was like a weapon cache and random guns might have spawned on it. And I've watched some guy, and what he does is he waits for it to just as it's spawning, and you see like people running towards it to grab it, and this guy lobs a grenade, it blows up, and as it blows up, the weapons cache flies through the air, and then he uses his grapple and grabs it out the air and pulls it in, and then he's got it, and then he just shoots them.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, he does it a few times, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I'll be watching that.
But yeah,
Cool.
that's Halo anyway. Can't say too much more about that because that was pretty much it.
Okay. So it's a limited kind of test.
Yeah, it's not on now. It's over now. They might do another one again after they've tweaked a few things. Maybe we'll see. The game's not that far from launch, and to be honest with you, from what I played, it seemed quite stable and
Good to see that they're doing it though. Good to see
ready
that
to
they're
go.
doing that sort of testing.
Graphics look good, felt smooth.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that one.
Cool.
One other thing I want to quickly mention is those who know me or like yourself, I'm part of the Xbox Ambassador program,
Uh-huh.
and currently there's a summer games party going on, which is basically there's a number of games that they kind of showcase. They're all like indie games, and it's to kind of basically in a Discord channel, and what they do is they kind of go go and play some of these games, come back, chat about it, and it's just to kind of push it out and give some positive feedback about them.
Okay.
I'll quickly rattle off which games those are. There's 5 of them.
Yep.
I know we've played a couple. So the Streets of Rage 4.
Mm-hmm.
There's a game called Killer Queen Black, War Groove, Stellaris, and Human Fall Flat.
Okay.
Now, one of the games I want to play is Human Fall Flat. I think that'll be a pretty cool game. I think we do need to stream that because that will be hilarious.
That'd be pretty funny. Yeah.
So there's that one. But one of the games I want to chat about is a game called Killer Queen Black. Now,
Okay.
if you were to look at this game, you'd probably think that looks garbage, right?
Okay.
Right, that's exactly what I do, but because it's one of them ones that's on Game Pass, all these games are on Game Pass, by the way, as part of the summer games party. But
Yeah.
because it's on there, it's one of them ones that you'll go, I'll give it a try anyway. And now I'll explain what you've got to do, and then because I think once I've only read details on it. I've not actually played it yet, but I've read stuff on it, and I think it might kind of convince you to kind of give it that little bit of a go. Right, so it's been created by a company called Bumble Bear Games, available on PC, Xbox, Switch, Stadia, if that's still going. It's a real-time strategy played out in a big arena. Basically, it's all on one screen, this arena. So it's very arcade style, kind of 8-bit type of thing. So there's 8 players, 4v4.
Okay.
You get 1 player on each team that plays as the queen, and the others play as what is known as the drones.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to read this next little excerpt off.
Sounds alright so far. I just haven't seen the graphics, so I'll probably cry.
Yeah, well, I'm going to read the next little excerpt off Wikipedia only because I don't want to get something wrong. So
Okay.
that's why I've gone very bright on the screen.
Convincing me without looking at any screenshots.
Yeah, so I'll read. There's a little bit here. So it's so the ones that play as the drones can pick up berries found in the arena and take them to transformation gates. Gates start off unclaimed but can be turned one team's colour by a queen.
Okay.
Depending on the gate, these transform a drone into either a speed drone, who can move around faster, or a warrior, who can fly and attack with a sword, or various other weapons in what is known as the black version, which is this one on the console. Once transformed, however, warriors lose abilities unique to drones, such as picking up or carrying berries and riding the snail. Obviously, you don't know about this bit yet, but I'll tell you that. Drones will respawn infinitely when killed, but each team's queen only has 3 lives, represented by the eggs in their hives.
Okay.
The game, this is the good bit. This is the bit that makes me kind of go, ooh. The game features 3 victory conditions that teams must be cautious of. So basically, there's 3 ways you can win a game.
Can I guess them?
Pardon?
Guess them.
You won't be able to guess them. So
there's
military, economic, and snail. A military victory is achieved when the opposing team's queen is killed 3 times by attacks from either the queen or a warrior.
So
That's
I
one
guessed
way.
that one. That was an
Yeah,
easy
you'd
one.
have got that one. An economic victory is achieved by using drones to collect berries and place them all in all the holes in their team's hive. So when you've got your 2 different hives, there's loads of little holes in them, and you've just got to fill them up. So that's another way you can
Oh,
win. Yeah.
okay. I, I,
Finally,
I, I would have thought it might have been the gates.
no, the gates are more like cocoons. I think
All right, so you can
they're
because
more
you
like
said to turn
cocoons
them
in your
coloured.
spawn.
So what happens if you coloured all the gates the same colour?
It doesn't matter. I think the gates are just, as I say, like cocoons that you spawn out of. Your drones spawn out of.
Oh, did you not say the queen could
Yeah, the queen.
change the colour of the cocoon?
Yes, of the gates. That will
So
it basically
so they become yours.
that just gives you what was it?
Oh, okay. So you spawn from them anyway
Yes,
as drones, but you can upgrade them effectively, but they're always yours.
yes, yes.
Okay. I get that now.
Bear in
Perfect.
mind, I
Okay,
haven't
cool.
played this. I want to play it
No,
because I've
no, but that
seen it and I've
makes.
been in it. And then
Is it out?
finally, yes, it's out on Game Pass.
Let's play it. We'll play it
So
tonight. Super.
finally, a snail victory. So this is the third one. Is
Huh?
achieved by using a drone to ride a slow-moving snail into their team's goal. The snail will stop briefly to eat enemy drones, but can move more quickly when ridden by a speed drone. So it's all about man management. So if you're a speed drone, obviously you want that one on the snail, but then again you might want the speed drone picking up the berries to put in your hive. And you've got a queen buzzing around, they're flying around pretty fast, like trying to kill other people as well as the other queen. So
Yeah.
you've got
So
lots of things.
you got a problem where you could be focusing on trying to win certain conditions, which isn't slowing down the enemy's conditions.
Yes.
It's funny actually because remember we've talked about games development and stuff before, and
But
the
this is
concept of
why I wanted to bring this one up because of the concept of having numerous different ways of victory
numerous.
against.
I agree. I
But
agree with what you're going to say.
this is what I've read from this is everybody's stating that one of the issues I think you've had in the past about this type of stuff is it is very well balanced,
Yes.
which is obviously always an issue. But people are saying it's a very well balanced game. Now, I do think when you look at any images of this game, you're going to be like, "What the hell?" But it is it the
I'm
concept. It's the
fine if the
concept.
concept's there,
Yeah,
and they're not, they're not particularly overly long to play around or whatever.
yeah. Well,
Um,
people have said that if you're getting hammered in the game, the rounds aren't particularly long. If you're getting absolutely hammered, then it'll
yeah,
just it's over and done. Get in the next one.
yeah, so that's fine because you need to learn.
Yes.
Um, I like I like the multiple win options. That's great in strategy games. I've always been a fan of strategy games, and they shouldn't be one way of winning. They
Mhm.
really shouldn't be because there isn't in life. Um, I like. I think what's the interesting mechanic there is that the victories, two of the victories, require you to do activities for yourself. So
Yeah.
you're required to get the snail across the line, or you're required to collect enough resource berries into your hive,
Yeah.
right? They're two actions that are wholly reliable on yourself, right? You don't physically have to do anything with the enemy to get that to happen necessarily, right?
Mhm.
And the last one is that they you could attack them or they could attack you. So your strategicness is not only thinking about which victory you want to try and achieve, is also how are you stopping them from doing it and how are they stopping you from doing the same thing.
But the key,
Um,
the one of the things is it could be that you end up trying to do all three yourself, as
I
well
think I
as
think that's kind
might not be
of
focused
what
on
you're
one.
doing. Well, yeah, I agree with you. I think this obviously the speed racer thing sounds like the speed drone. I presume can also move around quicker in general.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, it gets a speed boost.
So, see, you've got a question, haven't you? You've only got four people.
Hmm.
One of them's the queen, so you've got three drones.
Yeah,
And you can be a speeder and a warrior
yeah.
and a normal drone.
I think
Yeah,
it
that's the
was
three
normal.
choices, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The warrior can't. The speeder is just is a speed boosted version of the normal drone,
Yeah, I think they can all do any job.
but the warrior can't because the warrior can't pick up berries. You said that.
Or did I say that? Sorry. If I
It
said that,
loses.
then yes.
You said
That's
yeah.
cool.
You said the warrior drone can't loses some of the abilities of the standard drone.
Right.
One of them is collecting berries.
Yes.
Now, if the speeder drone doesn't have that problem,
Yeah.
then you automatically want to upgrade to a speeder drone.
But a speeder drone, by the sounds of it, cannot fight back.
In a normal drone?
I don't think so. Like I say, I haven't played this game. I don't
No, no,
know.
no. But it's a
By the
curious
looks
one.
of it, from the images I've seen and a couple of the videos, obviously the warrior and the queen are the two that fight. You've got the speed one who would probably be running back and forwards with berries or on the snail, as well as what you want really is the speed one on the snail and the other one normal drone picking the berries.
Well, that's my question because if the speeder drone, obviously the warrior one is
So
either an
yeah,
attacking or defensive approach is what
yes,
you're using the warrior for. The speed one, yes, you need the speed one to go on the snail if you want to do the snail thing. But if the speed drone can do the same things as the standard drone, but just quicker,
hmm,
then upgrading them to speed is not a choice, it's a necessity. You would do it
yeah.
anyway. If
But then
it's
so
not,
is a warrior because you need to be defending or attacking their speed drones. You need to be stopping them on their snails. You need to be,
yeah, well, yeah. What I mean is the like upgrade. Yes, you must have a warrior.
hmm,
Yes, you must have a speeder, right? One on a speeder, but you have one other drone left, right?
hmm.
If you make it a warrior, it can't pick up berries, right? If you make it a speeder and it can still pick up berries, then you would always upgrade two drones into speed drones
I find
because
it
they would
quite
be more.
funny that we're talking about a game that we haven't even played.
That you
We're
would,
trying
well,
to
no,
argue. We're
it's just
trying
really
to
good.
argue a case that we don't know anything about.
Well, do you know, make really curious to play it and see actually how if it works out like that.
Yeah, it's just from what I've read and what I've seen people say and stuff. I just think it's one of them little hidden gems. So
Cool.
I'm quite curious, and I think we'll give that a go. See what you think of that.
I'm presuming it's not a very big download either.
I wouldn't have thought so. No,
That's cool. We can probably play it before we go.
we can do that. Right.
Was there any on that? Any others on that list? Because there is one on that list that.
Obviously, this human fall flat. Obviously, we know we want to do that. War groove. I'm not 100% sure what war groove is. It might be one. I might have seen it. Sometimes I see things and I don't quite register. Obviously, Killer Queen Black. We spoke about that. Streets of Rage 4 is the other one, which if you're our age, you'll have played the old Streets of Rage. It's you know side scroller, Golden Axe, Streets of Rage. All if you've done any of them. To be honest with you, if you were going to play any game like that, I would
Yeah.
highly recommend Battletoads, because that has elements of Streets of Rage and that side scrolling thing, along with flying mechanics, and it's basically imagine every arcade game you've ever played put into one
Yeah.
game. It swaps and changes, and it's quite funny, and there's a bit of a story behind it and stuff. Which, yeah, I would highly recommend that over Streets of Rage 4. I think we played it once, and let's be honest, it's one of them games where where you say, "Oh yeah, I remember that game. That game was class. I loved it when I was a kid." You should leave it there because as soon as you try and play that same game now with
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
much of an upgrade,
Yeah.
you ruin all
I think that's the
knowledge.
problem though, isn't it? I like retro games. I don't mind playing retro games. I haven't got a problem with them.
Yeah, let's
But
play the
I like
retro game.
playing
Let's
them
not play
retro
a
games.
new, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I know because it comes out. You think, oh, Streets of Rage 4 is the new one, and I get them keeping it in the same genre and doing that sort of thing. But it's a new game now, so you're not, if someone actually made Streets of Rage 4 but made it new,
Made it like the Ascent.
yeah, it'd have been class.
Yeah, with that
It'd have been class with
moving
proper fight
mechanic,
mechanics.
turning, you know,
With
the
proper fight
graphics.
mechanics in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, it'd have been class. Absolutely wicked game to play.
yeah,
But they haven't done it because they're trying to keep. I know they're trying to keep the nostalgia feel of it. But the problem is, if you have that much nostalgia for Streets of Rage, you would just get an emulator and play it
yeah,
for
yeah,
free. Um, but no, I agree with you on that one.
yeah.
Um, I
Let's
still
not.
prefer, I still prefer Golden Axe anyway, so it's all good.
Yeah,
Um,
let's not get too hooked up on
uh,
that anyway.
no, just for your knowledge, Wargrooves is
Yes.
turn-based strategy game for up to 4 players. Each player take control of an army and its commander until the commander unit to wage war on their enemies. Use your commander's groove to strategically sway the fight in your favor and take to online multiplayer and challenges your friends. You can even design and share online your very own maps, cutscenes, and campaign stories with easy to use editors and in depth customization tools. Um, it looks alright. It's like top down view, 8-bit art. You'll probably love it.
Yeah.
Um, not too bad.
I'll
Is
give
this
it a little
a
look.
Game Pass title?
Yes, they're all Game Pass. All the ones on this Summer Games Party is part of the
I think
Ambassador program are all Game Pass.
I think that again, this has to be something to point out with the Game Pass thing. This game's 15.99 to buy.
Yeah, you wouldn't buy it.
PC, Nintendo, Switch,
Yeah.
PlayStation 4, Xbox One. Xbox One, most of the people, and PC now because of the Xbox thing, most people can get this game anyway.
Hmm.
Nintendo, PlayStation, you gotta pay for it, 15.99 for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's got 45 hours worth of content in it, but your 15.99 is gonna pay for 1.5 months of Game Pass Ultimate.
Hmm.
It's all very, very
Oh yeah.
fun to know.
We've
It
said
wasn't a
it. I think
smug way. I just
we've
wanted
said
to,
it. We've said it in nearly every episode now. It's just such a good money. You
I
know,
think so.
it's worth every bit of money you put into it. And
Um,
what I want to do is obviously I just want to keep kind of things rolling and moving everything because I want to try and stick to our 1 hour
go,
thing if we can.
go then.
We've got like 20
Go on.
minutes. So a couple of things I just want to chat about is basically I want to chat about the VR,
Yep.
and
'Cause we
then
did it. We
yeah,
played
I
it.
want
It was
to
good.
mention the new Battlefield. That's the only two things I want to mention. So if you want to mention anything after that, we can do. If you've got anything on your cards as well.
There was only one game, and it's part of the VR stuff, so we can talk about that.
Right, that's fine. Yeah. So we'll talk about the VR now anyway. So
Yeah, so we said it. So we
as
said
we
in the
said
last
last time,
episode.
yeah,
Yeah,
the mic was coming down. You might have seen the highlight.
that's me, by the way, for no one that's ever watched.
Yeah, but I think everyone knows who you are now, Mike.
Maybe,
He's the,
maybe we might have more people viewing it.
he's the weird one. So um,
It's debatable. We'll put a poll on Facebook.
we we did a
Might be a split decision between the two views. Keep going.
you might have seen the highlight video that I put up anyway. So I'll quickly mention there was 4 games that we played on there. It was Beat Saber,
Yep.
Spacewalk. I put down. I can't remember if that's what it's called or
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Pavlov and Superhot.
Yes. Pavlov was Pavlov Shack, so it's like the beta version for Oculus Quest 2.
Right. First of all, I'll quickly go through. Basically, it was good. I enjoyed it, but and this is probably a big but. I mean, I seen a poll the other day saying, do we think that VR is going to be the future of gaming? And I have to say my answer is no. I can't see it purely because I could not play that Pavlov. I could not. I could not. You know, I like my first person shooters. I'm not great at them. I like playing them, but I could not sit and play that. That would just make me sick.
So
Um, The one game,
That's a fun
I
one.
really enjoyed that you brought with you was Beat
Beat Saber.
Saber. I was looking forward to playing that, but I was a very big, rock band, Guitar Hero type person.
Yeah, but
And
Beat Saber is massive because let's face it, it's better than Rock Band by far.
oh
Playing
yeah,
Beat Saber, it's so good and very immersive.
I could stand and play
Slashing
that
things with
all day
lightsabers are
long.
good anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lightsaber kind of rhythm style game, like Guitar Hero.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you're making a comment to there is really the motion feeling.
Yes.
So in Beat Saber, you don't move anywhere apart from straight on directional.
Yeah. You've
There
got
is a
dodging.
three. You've got dodging left and right and stuff, but there's no walking
No,
forward or backwards.
no.
Um, there is a 360 mode where you can turn around on the spot, but again, not that bad because
Yeah.
you physically turn yourself around on the spot when you play that, so that's
Mhm.
fine. As you're moving on to stuff like Pavlov, like you were saying, we put Pavlov on, and even the spacewalk one, you have a motion mechanic. So you're either drifting forward in space or you were walking,
Yeah.
and turning left or right.
Can I just say something about that spacewalk one?
Uh,
There's this little thing at the beginning of that game that says, "Sit down, right? Do not stand up," and it shows a little man falling over. Mike says to me, "Don't sit down. You're all right. I've played this standing up." So then
I didn't think you played. I
I
didn't think
gets
you
into
played very
this
well.
game. I gets into this game, and then I remember looking around, and the first feeling I got was I felt like I was going backwards. So I went to move forwards, and I nearly fell over. I nearly fell over.
Well,
But the best thing
yeah,
was you turned around to me and went, "I've not played this one." After you said, "You're all right. You're all right. You can stand up because I've played this."
I had played it.
You said, "Well, maybe it was that level you hadn't played, but
No, I played. I just played up to the point of going into the mine. Like into the asteroid. I
right,
didn't go as
okay,
far as you went.
right."
Um, but step back a bit, right? I
I
personally
nearly
have an
did.
opinion of
I thought I was stepping back.
I have an opinion of VR that, and this is from my own experience,
Mhm.
that when I have played certain games, including stuff like Pavlov, with a walk mechanic that make you feel sick and these sort of things, that from having and owning and it for for quite a while now and playing a genre of different games, I have got my body and myself have got more used to it, and I don't feel the same sickness level or anything that I did at the very start. And a lot of the people talk about on the VR forums and stuff is that's the sort of progressional attitude you have to do. You have to kind of play games that
I
progress you towards it.
Yeah, I get that, but I have that problem sometimes when I'm playing some games on controller on my TV. So having that issue on there, it was 10 times worse when I had the headset on, which I would have literally threw up.
Uh-huh. And lots of people do, Craig. I can't think it's definitely not a replacement for gaming. It can't
No,
be.
it
What one for that reason, but also two, there's a lot of games you play that you can't possibly play in VR.
hmm
Um, for me, it gives a very different experience in gaming, especially certain games. I'll give you a good example. Okay, Beat Saber, fair enough, right? But another game that I play on it is table tennis, right?
yeah,
It is genuinely like playing table tennis. Feels very much like playing table tennis. Completely the same. To the point where I'm pretty confident enough now that I can now play table tennis in real life a lot better than I could before. Right, and that doesn't work for any game on any console.
right,
Uh, I mean, you can't play table tennis or whatever or racing or whatever. Okay, racing games you could understand racing mechanics if you had a steering wheel and stuff. Okay, that's a little bit more immersive. But most games that you play, you're not necessarily going to get good at that activity outside in the real world. Whereas that, I would say, actually very accurate, and pretty good.
right.
Um, and again, has no motion mechanics in it apart from you moving in the same place where you are. Um, a lot of other games that I've started to play don't have this motion mechanic in it, and they've removed it. Personally, I think that people will build up to it, and you might be okay with it. I think people might build up to it and just never get okay with it,
hmm
and you won't play it. You won't play that sort of stuff. So in that sense, you won't replace stuff. Um, if you can, and you can get used to it, some of the stuff is insane. Now, okay, we were playing the Oculus Quest 2 and we were playing it not plugged into a PC. So it's playing games locally.
Yeah.
So your graphical quality, all this kind of stuff, they don't go as into detail as they normally do.
Some of it was though still quite good. It was quite. Don't
Not
get me wrong,
bad.
it was impressive, but
Yeah. So
I do just purely feel as a gamer it wasn't for me.
that's fair.
It wasn't aimed for me. There's probably people out there that love it and stand by it. Like me, we've watched a video of a guy who loves it and obviously does some funny
I mean,
videos.
I do. I
But
do. I absolutely adore it. I really do. Um, with the ability, yeah. Okay.
I like the comforts
What
of
what
sitting
I
on my
mean,
ass in front of the TV.
but so do I.
Yeah,
I still appreciate that. I
yeah.
still like that. Um, uh, it may ultimately come down to the Prefla Prefla. I can't say that name.
Preference,
No, like the amount of
preferability.
games. No, it's Prefla. It's like the amount of
Prefla. What the
games.
fuck is Prefla?
Yeah, yeah. I can't pronounce. I'm not saying that right at all.
I have no idea. I have no idea what you said. Prefla, right?
There's a word. There's a word.
Prefla.
No, you're gonna spell it wrong on naming the thing.
Mate, it doesn't matter how I spell it.
I'm gonna.
It's not a word.
It's a word. I'm gonna. I'm not. We're not moving on. I'm gonna Google it until we've got this.
Prefla.
I can't even say it, so I doubt we can spell
You've got 8.5 minutes.
it.
Preferability? Preferable?
Uh,
Preferable. Is that what you're trying to say?
no, no. It means like um
Come on.
preferer.
Prefer.
No, that's. Don't be stupid. You're gonna say
But I can
names
you
that
say
are
I'm
like.
being stupid? You're making up freaking words now.
Nah, it's
Come on.
I'm trying to find it. I can't find it. I know the word that I'm talking about, but I don't know the word because I can't say it.
If anybody wants to jump in and mention, have a clue what he's talking about, this must be a very north of the border thing. This.
Oh, what's this?
Right.
Femina.
While you're looking for that though, I'll just you know, I watched you play Super Hot. That looked good. To be honest, I was watching some of the games you were playing, and the
Yeah.
Super Hot one, and the way you were moving and everything else. That looked quite good. But I knew for a fact that I could not have played that game, which was a little bit annoying because I was like, oh, that looked quite good. When you kind of go, oh, you were struggling on some parts,
Why do you think you couldn't play that game?
just the movement. I could not have. There was too much going on, too much movement for me.
No, you see, this is what I'm talking about, right? So in that game, in Superhot, there
Yeah.
is no forward momentum movement at all.
No, no, I know that. But what it was is, it was the headset moving around too much as well for me.
Because you were watching me play it.
But even when I was playing Beat Saber, if I moved around too much, I felt a bit like, a bit uneasy. But as long as I kept quite, you know,
Oh, okay.
focused, I had something to focus on.
I,
Whereas it's that whole when you're moving around and looking for something. Or
I have an opinion. I personally have an opinion that I think that would settle down, and you wouldn't have that sort of feeling so much once you get used to having a headset. You got to admit, Craig, you had a headset on for like half an hour in total. Like you didn't have it on
it
for
was
that
more
long.
than half an hour, surely.
Oh, an hour maybe.
Mate, my face
Um,
was
yeah,
sweating off.
yeah, I know. But if you
There was no rubber
if
left on your
I'm
goggles.
what I mean is I'm quite I'm quite supportive of people. Like if you find that VR is not your thing, it's not really what you're interested in, then fair enough. It is what it is to people. Um, what I want people to also understand is that if you whack a headset on, if you play some intense motion games, you're going to feel very sick very quickly, regardless of who you are. Um, there is ways of guiding yourself through this process to make it better. So if you put a VR headset on and you're amazed and you're blown away by the process of it, there is ways to kind of make this situation more comfortable and get you to the point where you can play some of these games. Now, you may not be playing Star Wars Battle Squadrons doing loop the loops without
Yeah.
falling off your chair and feeling sick, right?
No.
But what I wanted people to kind of understand from VR is that if you want an immersive feel in some games, you can't take it away that VR gives you that. And if you push yourself to that point to try and get there, then you can have some incredible experiences. I can't play Star Wars Battle Squadrons in VR. I can't do it yet. It does make me feel sick. If I concentrate a little bit and are delicate with my head movements, I can do it a little bit better.
Right.
Um, but I found the first time I did it, I took my headset off within minutes of playing the game. The next time, I played the game for 20 minutes. Same game,
Yeah.
did the same things in it, but I was more used to what was happening and I was anticipating stuff. So when I span, I knew that I'd get a little bit of a wobble, but then my body was like, it was just a bit of a wobble. It didn't make me feel sick. It didn't make me feel ill. It just was like, oh, that was a bit weird. And then I carried on going. And I do feel like the more you do it, the more you would get used to it. Um, but again, grade it on the difficulty
Yeah.
of what games
I'm
you're.
not like I say it's just a personal opinion. I just did think,
Yeah.
Beat
Yeah.
Saber for me was something that I think I could play quite a lot of and I would enjoy it,
Mhm.
whereas some of the
I think you'd
others
like
that
Beat
were
Saber. I
good.
think you'd like table tennis. I think you would like games where you don't particularly move too much,
Yeah.
like in your
It's a
direct.
possibility. It's a possibility.
It's like what I was gonna jump onto was very
Is
quickly
this the new
was
game that you've been playing in VR?
yeah. So this Ark crap, I just forgot what it's called.
Or is this the one you were talking about you were going to get before, the building one?
Yeah, Ark Smith.
Yes.
Um, so Ark Smith, you're like this space maintenance kind of dude, where you've become like an apprentice to a space mechanic, and basically ships and people can come in and request jobs, and you have to build like certain equipment for them. So it might be like a medical scanner, or it might be a um, some kind of medical device of. I was going to say medical scanner again there, but I just said it. Or a radio, or a controller, or whatever. It might be these different things, and you basically click and you get a schematic, and you have to build them out of different components.
Hmm.
So you get like power supplies, you get um, power compensators, which take some of the power away, and you get radiators, and they all like push together, which is good. But you have a couple of different tools to try and figure out what power is connecting to what and how much heat you need to take away and don't overload it. And you can like run it. You basically build it and you run it, and then it blows up and breaks apart. And then you have to kind of advise, like trying to think of why it did that and try and like remake it. So it's a puzzle game
Right.
effectively. It's got a bit of engineering element, all right, not real engineering, but some engineering elements into it. But the other aspect of that is you are completely set down.
And what was that called? Sorry,
Ark Smith. Ark Smith.
Ark Smith.
Yeah.
And
New out came
that's
out on Friday.
in VR.
Came out in VR. Yeah. It's got a storyline. There is a storyline kind of mission campaign thing to it going on in the background, while you're now making more parts and more missions and stuff. It seems like the puzzles are going to get like progressively harder as you go through it. Um, but again, it's a VR title where you have tools and things at your disposal and screens you can move around, but you are sat in a chair on a desk inside VR. You
Yeah.
don't move from that position. There's a robot moving around and there's a big guy talking to you, telling you how to do some things. Um, so I think it's quite cool. I think it's unique. I think it's actually quite a difficult puzzle game.
I
I'm
think
I'm engineer by trade, and it took me a little bit to kind of realize what it meant by
I,
what to connect together. But the fact that you can just keep doing it and keep pressing play until you figure it out is great.
I think if you have play a bit more of that, and then
Hmm.
obviously see where you stand with it in a week or two's time, and then obviously we can see if it's that type of game that you will keep on playing. I think that's kind of
Yeah, I think I might do a video on it. I think
right.
I'm planning now that I can kind of do that sort of setup of record me here and record the screen. And I can talk kind of talk along it and stuff like that. Now that I've got this setup sorted out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might do a video of that because I think it'd be good, even for like people like yourself. It'd be good to see, like, not all VR games you have to stand up and play. So
Right. Oh, that'd be cool.
good stuff. That's fine. I'll just cover all VR games. You can cover the other ones.
No, because we'll be doing Killer Queen together.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Right, moving on. I've got Battlefield 2042.
Yes, please.
As we know, or as we should know, it's due for release on 22nd of October. Have you heard much on the beta that is available on the 4th of September?
I knew it was available on the 4th of September, but
Yes.
have I heard much about it?
So that is available on the 4th of
An
September.
open beta, though, isn't it?
If you pre-order the game, you get early onto the beta.
Mhm.
But 2 days later, it's then going to go open beta on the 6th of September, which to me is no incentive to pre-order the game really for a 2-day early beta. They could be knackered, and it's like it's EA. Don't forget, you probably can't get on the server for them 2 days.
I'm close to the point of saying that pre-ordering it's a mistake anyway.
To be honest, with the amount of issues the games have had and stuff, I think Cyberpunk was a big one, wasn't it, for people? Pre-ordering games is unless you're gonna offer, I don't know, the world, people just aren't going to commit anymore.
I mean, I don't think you've got loads of choice in the sense of you're not particularly going to get it much cheaper and stuff like
You're
this.
not going to get any early. The digital games now these days, so literally you can just go and get it the day off, and still get it that day.
You can bring out.
They're not going to run out.
Yeah, but I even mean like, I don't think pre-ordering is a good idea, but possibly not even not even getting it day release.
Yeah, well,
if you're reviewing it and that sort of stuff, then fair enough. Like I can understand why, and we might do it for that reason.
yeah,
But I'm not necessarily with like you say with Cyberpunk and other games and stuff that are coming out.
yeah,
If you're an absolute massive Battlefield fan and you can't wait, then fair enough, chap at it.
yeah,
If not, but you do like the Battlefield franchise, there's no single player campaign at all.
yeah. It's all multiplayer.
It's all multiplayer, which means if there's a multiplayer problem, you ain't got anything else to play.
Yeah, but
Um,
I was just going to add, anyways. The beta obviously that runs up until the 11th of September. So if you do pre-order it, you get a full week. If you don't, you get 5 days.
Is that if you don't play order it? Oh, so basically, if you don't buy it, you just get You just get 5 days of access.
Yeah, open beta, which is
Yeah,
from
anyone.
yeah. So
All right, there you go then.
like I said to
Make
you,
your opinion.
like I said to you
Make your
earlier,
opinion.
the
You've
two
got 5
days,
days.
the 2 days you get early access, so
Yeah,
you get 2 days
yeah.
before everyone else. EA
Load of
has
crap.
always had problems with servers, so you're probably not going to
Yeah,
get on them 2 days anyway.
that's for people that just want to be first. It's the people that are in the queue for new iPhones.
And if you want to be first and you don't want to pre-order it, you can actually buy a beta key off an eBay for £7.85.
Jesus. One, don't do that. It's not worth it. Two,
just wait the 2 days.
wait, £7, what, 85?
Yeah.
£4 a day. Play it early. No, no thanks. My opinion of it would be, especially with it being an EA title, I'm a massive Battlefield fanboy. Have been since 1942 on my PC. I love Battlefield games, and I'm so happy that they've gone back to the roots of making a Battlefield game that's just modern war.
Hmm.
Because Battlefield 3, even Bad Company and stuff, where they were modern war games, were amazing, and then they went down like the crazy routes and broke it all. Um, I can't wait. I think it'll be a game that we'll all play for a long time.
Yeah.
But for what you're suggesting there, my opinion would be is don't pre-order it at all because there's no need to these days. It's not about the amount of they're out in the shops and you can't get them.
I would say pre-order if you want to get it a hard copy, maybe. That's probably
If
about.
you want to get a hard copy, fair enough.
Maybe you
Okay,
can't
that's
get to
fine.
the shop or whatever, you get
Yeah, yeah,
sent out to you.
yeah. Fair enough. Good point.
That's about it. If you go on digital, there's no need.
Yeah.
And these additional DLCs and stuff they give you for pre-ordering stuff are shite these days.
I trash and don't mean anything.
Yeah.
You might get battle pass. Do you get any of the battle pass with it if you pre-order it? No.
You'll probably get some dog tags or a friggin'
You won't get battle pass activation or
No.
whatever. Yeah. So my opinion would be actually play it for 5 days, and then make a decision of whether it's good enough as is
Hmm.
to buy it full price, or wait a bit and buy it at a cheaper price, maybe.
Yeah. That was all I wanted to mention on that anyway, because obviously I know the beta is now obviously.
Can you get it cheaper if you're part of EA?
I think you do, and EA is now part of the
Part
Game Pass
of
Ultimate, so you will get. I
10% off or whatever it is.
yeah, I can't remember what it is, but you've got to remember that EA or the digital market on the marketplace always inflates the price exponentially over your
Normal copy.
if you buy it online from somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're talking the difference between $59.99 more than likely on EA,
Hmm.
maybe with a few quid off. So it might go
Yeah.
down to $56.99 maybe, or
Whereas
$54.99.
you might be able to buy it on CD keys or something for a lot cheaper.
Yeah, 40 odd quid maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's entirely up to
So
you how
yeah,
you want to do that one.
play it 5 days for free. Decide if you like it, and then buy it somewhere else.
Yeah. One thing I want to end on
Mhm.
is I sent you a video about a controller. I don't know if you watched the video, and I said you need to watch that because I didn't even know this. So on the top of the controller, I've got mine here. Yeah, on the top of your controller where your little sync button is. If you're watching the video, you can see me pointing at it. That's the sync button there.
Is this only on new Xbox controllers?
Not as far as I'm aware, because I think obviously they can update the firmware in them, can't they?
Uh,
So when you turn it on and you sync it up to, say, your console, it will
yeah.
always turn on your console.
Yes.
Now, if you turn it on and then sync it with your mobile phone, it will only ever work with your mobile phone when you turn it on. However, if you double tap the top button, yeah,
Yeah.
it switches between the last two things you synced it with.
Oh, so you don't have to keep resyncing it.
Correct. So you should be able to switch between your phone when you're
Uh,
playing.
I don't have this problem because I have a separate pad for my
Yeah, well, I've
that
got
you
I've
can.
got three of these things now.
Um, but that's pretty useful
But
to know.
yeah, so I can switch this between my PC and my phone, and then I've got the other two that are synced up to my Xbox. But I didn't know that, and I don't even think that's been put anywhere. I've seen a video of it. I've not tried it yet. I'm sure it will be true. It
It's
looked
funny
it
that
looked like it was.
it's two,
What's
not
that?
three. It'd be good if it was three, because then isn't that Xbox, PC, and phone?
Yeah, but yeah, it's,
The whole Prefla.
yeah, but then there's going to be TVs and God knows what next, and
Okay,
tablets,
fair
and
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
we
Fair
could
enough.
go on
Fair
forever.
enough.
We could go on
Good
forever.
point. Okay, I get it.
Anyway, that's all I've got. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to that.
Not that I can think of.
But are we happy then? And we're gonna
I
play. We're
think.
gonna play Killer Queen.
Did you ever mention about Pez going free to play?
I didn't. I'll let you go for it.
I think I've just said it.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Wait,
I
well,
can't remember what it's gonna be called now. It's changing its name.
yeah, Pro Evolution Soccer free to play at some point. Um, Pretty cool.
I think the
I think.
last one is on Game Pass anyway. That's well, sorry, the 2021 was on Game Pass. 2022, or was it 2020? Is on Game
Yeah,
Pass,
yeah,
but 21 you could buy a small. It was only a few quid, but it was a little bit of an update for transfers and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, transfer
Rather
market.
than doing a FIFA and releasing a whole new game, they just
Yeah,
did like a transfers thing. And then going forward, it's going to be renamed. I can't remember what the name's going to be. We'll get that out there. But
yeah, we'll get that. We'll put that out there. But
it's,
I just thought it was an interesting comment because I think me and we've been Pro Evolution Soccer fans.
I
We've
think
been
Pro
FIFA
Evo
fans.
6, I think, was the
Yeah,
last.
yeah, when it was good.
Yeah.
6 and 7 were all right. Um,
ISS Pro Evolution, it was previously known as
yeah,
International
wasn't it
in, International
international?
Superstar Soccer.
Wasn't it winning 11 or something before that as well?
Oh, there was Winning 11, yeah. Oh no, that was that
Uh,
the not the American name for it.
maybe.
I think that might be the American
Um,
name for it.
and that's just showing our age, mate.
Don't know. Can't remember.
Uh,
We might have had an import on the PlayStation.
unless I'm getting mixed up with like Sensible Word or something.
No, I'm sure it was definitely Win 11, but I'm sure it was an import that we may have had.
That might have been Japanese. That might have been the Japanese name.
Yeah, something like that.
Um, I personally, I don't know loads on it, but I think it's a good move. I think Pro Evolution Soccer's never done that good against FIFA in the last, FIFA's become very mainstream as a football title, kind of holding the monopoly on it. If Pro Evo was free to play,
It's
then
always held the
people
license,
kind of
doesn't it?
download it. Yeah, people might download. Yeah, the licenses for the teams and whether they're, playing
You
against
can edit them, but it takes a lot of time.
playing proper names versus proper names as opposed to random names versus random names.
Team
Uh, I,
names and stadium
yeah,
names, etc.
yeah, I get that, but they're just names.
Yeah,
Really,
license
the
though, isn't it?
characters could all be. I know, but the characters could all be the same. You could effectively play, like, say it's Manchester United. You could effectively play all the exact stats on all the players. There just won't be named the people who you think they would be. You know what I mean? So they don't look right.
Man
So I get
red,
that. And
man red, and man blue.
man red and man blue, but you might have a guy up front that's exactly the same stats as the guy up front in FIFA. You know
Yeah,
what I mean, it's not like it's that different. It's mainly names and what they look like. But I can get why that takes away from a lot of the game. I understand that, but I think bringing it free to play, I'd say that
yeah,
is a good shout. Um, I think that'll mean we can go back to it, I do have my issues with FIFA over the last couple of years. Um,
yeah. Gone
I,
downhill.
I don't know I don't know what they're doing to it, but it just doesn't feel right when playing it.
No,
There's definitely some weirdness between online matches where you're winning them 1 minute and absolutely getting trounced the next minute, and it's not the player you're playing against that's necessarily doing that. I think FIFA's doing it in the background. Um, because it always seems to be the last game of the season.
yeah.
So there's some weird stuff going on and stuff like that. But
You're not
no,
allowed to
curious
say.
of
You're
it.
not allowed to say scripting. It's against the rules. You're not allowed to. You get banned.
Or abandon FIFA if you say the scripting.
You get banned on the forums and all sorts of stuff if you even try and mention that it's being scripted.
It's a game that
Someone's a bit precious, I think.
it's a game written in computer script, so it's scripted.
Yeah. And
You
on that,
actually can't you actually can't make randomness in a game because it's scripted.
yeah. There's
So
plenty of there is plenty of issues with the game.
therefore FIFA has a lot of scripting, but they're doing some stuff about it. I don't think it's that. It's not a bad game. FIFA's good, but I'm just curious. I think PES being free to play means more people might play it and give it a go. So I'm definitely curious to play it. I might play it for a bit and hate that as well.
Probably.
Probably. Good stuff.
Right, an hour 13. Ran over again. Doesn't matter, but yeah.
Yeah, that'll do.
Alright. Did you, by the way, very quickly, did you find your word Prefla? Did you find out what you were looking for? No, he hasn't. Right.
I know I did.
No, I don't believe you.
It says Prefla was added. Prefla is an accepted dictionary word for games like Scrabble.
If anybody knows what that means, let us know, because I have no idea what's going on about. Right, anyway, you've been listening to HCG, episode 6, aka Prefla. I'm Craig. It's like Crisis 2 along the bottom there under social media and Xbox.
Plethora.
Mike's talking about Flora Butter now.
No, Pleflora. I'm gonna.
I don't care.
Right. The pronunciation is Prefla. Prefla. Plethora. Right. Prefla. I'm having someone speak it in my ear. Prefla, and it means fullness.
Right, we're getting an English lesson now.
I've used it loads in my life.
I think you're making shit up, and people have just been laughing at you. People have been walking out
Dictionary.
and things. Like
It's in the dictionary. I'm
well,
gonna find it in the dictionary.
I'll have a look. I'll have a look after this, and then we'll yeah. Right, go on, Mike. Do your
Oh
out,
yeah,
do your
yeah.
outro.
I'm Mike. Tags at the bottom. I'm Mike2 on Xbox and other social media areas and stuff like that. Check us out on YouTube as well, please.
Yeah.
Or Facebook. Check our Facebook page out. We're also on Instagram now. Am I correct?
Yes, we are. Yes, it's all
And Twitter.
interlinked. So if you go on one or the other, you'll be able to get to it. You get the full rounds.
We'll get some stuff. These things are obviously going to keep continuing. We are looking at like posting more videos and stuff like that of playing some games and stuff as well. But I'm a little bit tied down with new baby at the moment. And Greg's not very good at any games. There's no point in him doing them. Yeah. Other than that, have a good
Yeah, might you stick your dictionary.
one.
Right.
See you, man.
See you later. Bye.
Bye.